So I've had this idea in the back of my mind for an art journal page for quite a while. I don't know whether it was inspired by something I saw on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But because today I'm not feeling very well, I've managed to pick up a virus or a cold or something from somewhere. Even though I've only been to the supermarket once in the last kind of like week. That was on Friday. It's now Tuesday and I feel dreadful, and I have felt dreadful for the last few days. So I just want to sit and just work through this kind of image that I've got in my head and see whether it works. And I'm using one of the last pages in my Momigami journal. It's taken a while to work through this one because it's not one that I use all the time. The idea was to do the Momigami journal and do one page a month for a year. But it's not kind of turned out that way. And the last time I did this one was in March. So life gets in the way, other stuff gets in the way. So, I mean, I know you're probably like me and you have more than one journal on the go. I have journals that I do certain things in, collage journals, painter journals. I have an angry journal that I just vent my anger and frustration in, which is full of swear words and all that kind of stuff, which is very cathartic. I do recommend having an angry journal. You know, keep it safe, keep it secure, because you might put stuff in there that you don't want your partner to read, particularly when they've been irritating you. But just a place for you to, you know, blow off steam in as well. So have a journal for different things, different purposes, different processes, different art types. Like I said, paint, collage, whatever. And just, you know, just use them every so often. All right, now that's dry, start adding on some of this paint. Now, this is newish paint to me, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be, whether it's translucent or whether it's matte. It's supposed to be a matte paint. It's a multi-purpose paint for both professional artists and beginners. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's find out together how it's going to be. So, and because I've put it on a white background, so it is a bit translucent then. So all I'm going to do is just build up some layers with the paint. And dry them off. Okay, so next I'm going to do some dark. Well, this is called Bright Salmon, but it's darkish pink. So this is Deco Art Americana. So we'll put some of that up there, bit of that up there, and a little bit of that down here. No plan, I'm just going where the mood takes me. Spreading the paint out a bit. Blending it, pushing it. Like I said, no real kind of thought, just intuitive, like. Okay. I don't know whether it's just me, the fact that I'm not well today, but that paint smells. Right, so again, Deco Art Americana, avocado this time. So let's put blob in there, blob in there, bit of a blob there, bit of a blob there, a little bit of a blob there. and we'll just work that in. Just clean the brush, dry it. So I'm using darker colours in the background. And all I'm doing is just going around, filling in those kind of gaps. Like I said, no real kind of plan or schematic, just kind of seeing where it takes me. Alright, so did I want a sponge? I did want a sponge. I want to do a bit of stenciling next. So scissors. My desk is an absolute mess at the moment because I just don't want to tidy up. I just don't feel like doing anything. Having one of those days today where I just can't be bothered. I'm sure we all have days like that, don't we? Some more than others. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, just bring in a couple of stencils, and I've got some lighter blue. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of light blue paint on there. So that's the Deco Americana Indian Turquoise. And I'm just going to load up the sponge. So this stencil is called Dot Gain. And I'm just going to pounce and dab. Not trying to get a total perfect kind of impression. And we'll go over this side. And then pick some more up, turn the stencil around, and we'll go so I'm just doing the light blue over the top of the dark blue. So let me just give that stencil a quick wipe. Don't want the paint to dry on it. There we go, just quick tidy. Alright, so next I'm going to bring this one in. This is the, I can't remember whether it's grunge harlequin or distressed harlequin. I can't remember. So for this one, so we have the dark salmon or the bright salmon from the Americana. This time we've got bubblegum pink. So let's add a little bit of that. Spongy again, load it up. And again, I'm just going to go the pink over the top of the pink. That's one. And then over here again. Like I said, I can't remember what triggered the idea of doing the light over the dark. It must have been something I saw either on Facebook or Instagram or one of those kind of social platforms. Just dab in, and then while we're up here, let's do that bit as well. Now, I don't mind if it goes over, it's not a problem. I just wanted it to blend, if you like. Now, I'm just wondering whether or not to get a third different stencil for the green, or whether I should come back in with the circles again. I think I will get a different stencil, so I'll just quickly finish cleaning this, and then I'll go rake through my stencils and get another one, and then I'll be right back. All right, so we've had circles, we've had kind of diamonds. So this time we're going with lines. So this is what I call the Evil Empire stencil. You might not recognize it straight away, but if you've ever watched any of the Star Wars films, think on any of the Imperial bases, either the Death Star or any of those kind of bases. In the background, there's always those lighting panels. This is the pattern from that. So, yeah. It was just one of those patterns that I thought, I like that. So I decided to create a stencil with it. All right, so one more bit of spongy. I can't even remember whether I even officially kind of released it. I just did it, wanted to do it for myself, and then I just put it on the website. So I don't even know whether or not I made a thing about even releasing it. Okay, so this green, the Art Studio Honeysuckle Yellow, is about as translucent as it comes, which is no good for what we want. Right, so I need to replace that with something else then. Let me just grab some other paints, see what else we've got from my green. I keep my paints together, I keep all the cools together. Olive green, I think. Or maybe should we go with, no, we'll go pistachio mint. I keep all the blues and the greens together, and then I put all of the reds, yellows, oranges and browns, cool colours together as well. So let me just dry that off. There you go, it's completely disappeared, look. It's no use in an ornament, that paint. It's very translucent. Not what I want, so let's try again. Hopefully this will be better. There we go. Good old Americana. Because it's quite a light colour, I'm only going to go and do light dabbing. Try and keep it a bit straight. Which has always been difficult for me. But I think that'll work. Okay, so I'll have a quick clean up, tidy up, dry off, and then I will meet you back on the other side. All right, so all tidied up. What I want to do now is just kind of lighten up that foreground. So I'm going to just bring in some white gesso, bit of water, and then we'll just add some splatters. just helps to break it up. It's not quite so deep and dark and severe. Right. I managed to get it splattered everywhere, look. Right, I'll get that dry and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is one of the ethereal peeps from the Carte Noire collection. Just got the one from that. And I've got a script stamp, French script number 2 from the collector's edition for Indigo Blue. I've stuck it on a block. And I'm just going to load it up. And then make sure I've got it the right way up. And then I'm going to just stamp the text onto the figure. There we go. Give that a clean up. Ink I've used was, if you didn't see it, the VersaFine Claire Nocturne. Right. So I'll give that just a quick blast just to dry it off, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got some distress ink, and I'm just gonna go around the edge just to kind of frame it a little bit. So the Carte Noire art shapes are 1500 micron, so they're fairly rigid and they'll take a fair bit of abuse. Paint, stamping, inking. Like I said, the white on one side, black on the other. Right. I keep saying I'll replace my vintage photo once it disappeared a long time ago into Ian's garage, and I've never seen it since. But I've just never been anywhere that has had any for sale for such a long time. All right, so let's get some glue. Elmer's school glue, so we'll just put a little blob on there. I don't put too much on, and I'm going to put the figure sort of over here, so it's looking back into the page. There we go. Just need to put a little bit of weight on that just to hold it down, just so it grabs, and I'll be back in a moment. Un momento, por favor. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I've got a Stabilo oil pencil. It's a black one, and I'm just going to go around kind of the outside. Just to add a little bit of that kind of darkness and shadow. This is a water pencil or a water pen, and I'm just going to activate it just to give it that kind of dark shadow all the way around, just to make it pop from the background. Turn the page around there a little bit. That water's making it lift a little bit. just makes it kind of pop from the page. And grounds it just a tad. Just blend it out. Okay, so what I need to do then, I think, is just leave that to dry for a minute or two. Maybe just put some pressure back on there just to hold it down, because maybe I didn't leave it long enough for the glue to dry, because that water seeped underneath, I think. Maybe just give it a little bit of a helping hand. Okay, so that's kind of dried around the figure now. So I just want to add a little bit of a quote to the page. I've gone into my Tim Holtz kind of quote chips, because I've got loads left and they really do need using up. And I think most of the more popular ones are already gone. Definitely gone. So let's grab some glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some glue down on here. Because we've got text on there, I kind of want to put a little bit of text behind this. And then just add a bit of glue on that. Not putting a huge amount on, doesn't really need a lot. Just so that's kind of got a little bit of a border. Again, just put a little bit of weight on that just to make it stick, and then I'm going to come back in with that Stabilo oil pencil again and just go around the piece of text, book text. And then I'll just activate that with a little bit of water, just to kind of make that pop as well. And I think that is pretty much what my vision was for the page. Wasn't that complicated. Just some layers. But I think, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll let that dry for a second. Give it a little bit of a helping hand. So just to kind of finish off, I just want to add a bit of a scribbly border, just to kind of balance the black. And then I can sign and date it. Doesn't have to be a fancy border, just a hand-drawn wavy lines, whatever you like. Just something to add just a little bit of a frame to it. But it also helps just to balance the black that you've got inside the page around the outside. And then down here at the bottom, I'll just sign it and then put today's date, which is the 2nd of July 2024. There you go, job done. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again on Saturday for a brand new mission inspiration. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.